So this video might be like, it might be a little scattered, and you might think like, what is he talking about? Like, he was just talking about one thing, now he's talking about subjects. But this is how my mind works. But so I was thinking about what the lessons from Avatar, what I got from them, and that idea of wisdom, and then I applied it to like, well, you get wisdom from many different things, like math, English, history, and science. And so I was thinking like, what if that's why we learn all those subjects instead of just one for our, to get a career. If you want to be a math major, then just learn math. And so like maybe that's why they may make us teach it, make us learn from 4 different subjects, because it's, you learn wisdom from many different things and it helps you. So that's just how my mind works. So I thought of that, and then I was like, oh, the 4 subjects, and then I was like, oh, the 4 elements. And then I compared them. I'm like, yeah, those could go together. So if this seems scattered, or if any other of my videos seem scattered, let me know. But that's just how my mind works. And I repeat myself sometimes, so that's how it works. So there are many lessons that come from the Avatar show. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that show. It's my favorite show. But it's very spiritual and open-minded. A lot of the teachings that from that series come from Uncle Iroh, and he's like this big, he's like this older figure, and he's very wise, and he's also like a little bit chunky. But that's okay. Like one of the lessons I remember the most was, it goes like this. He basically says, and I'm quoting this: "It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If you take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale." So you can piece that apart however you want, but I just thought, you get wisdom from many places, and you start to think in many different ways. So the title of this video is about the 4 elements and as subjects, you know. But if you were to study each nation, you'd find that they had a different way of living. They had their strengths and weaknesses, and they used their lifestyle, strengths, and weaknesses to form knowledge of the world. So with that wisdom, you as a person would try to make sense of the 4 nations. Then you would ask questions and try to make your own wisdom. And then that would strengthen your wisdom that you already have. Now back to the school subjects. So the 4 big subjects are history, science, math, and English. That's the 4 main ones that that they teach you basically in school. And so I kind of like I compared the subjects to the elements. I defined them as elements. So the first one would be math, and I think that one's air. Because air to me would be ideas. Stuff that is up in the air. You really can't pinpoint ideas like once you get to the more complicated numbers like I or E. You could say that there's one answer to solutions in math, but once you get to the more complicated stuff, then they're not one answer, And so you could say math is like Earth, but you can't really say that because sometimes there's more than one answer. That's why I think math is air. And so, since I talked about Earth, I think Earth would be English. Because you could say Earth is history, but I don't really think that's true. yes, history's set in stone, but I'll get to that when I get to that. History is another element, but Earth is English because when you speak, read, or write, you're being grounded by your opinion. You have an opinion, and some people are so solid on their opinion that they don't change much, like rock. So reading and writing are also a way to keep you grounded, you know? So if you read a book, you know, you're in your imagination and you're thinking, you know, keeps you grounded. If you're writing, keeps you grounded as well, you know, and it keeps you in your thoughts, and you know, you're down to earth. Reading and writing are also a way to keep you, you know, grounded, you know. That's what I said. You know, Earth is my favorite, even though I suck at English. I still like English, but and I think I'm really good at math, but I think English is the opposite of math. History is next, and I think history is water. You know, for the fact that time flows like water. And yes, you can say history is set in stone, but the past is the only thing that is set in stone because, you know, we're making history today. What am I saying? Every time a day goes by, history is being made. You know, because history still grows while time moves. And sometimes the way time moves feels faster than other times, you know, like the saying goes. Sometimes it feels stagnant. So that's history is water. And so the last one is science. And that's the last element is fire. So science is fire. I mean, this one kind of seems obvious though, because fire is like it's a chemical reaction and it's burning. I think it's a chemical reaction. I haven't. It's a chemical reaction, but and that's the closest science. That's the closest thing to science as it gets. Um, yeah, and it's and fire is fire is fire. It's a gas burning, and yeah, gas is air is a gas, and the others are solid and liquid. But fire is like a class of its own. Um, it's fire just makes sense for science, and science is the opposite of history. And the reason I came up with this was because um, when you're in school, you usually are good at math, or you're good at English, or you like whichever one, but it's really one or the other. And so I was thinking, like, what is the opposites of each other? You know, math is obviously the opposite of English. They're on two different spectrums, and they're you know two different sides of learning. And then history and science, it just made sense. And then I thought of the four elements as well, and I put them together. And I'm like, wait, I could put these as the four elements. And then I started thinking about a whole bunch of stuff that is four, but and could be divided as a four elements. But I just thought of these subjects, and it made sense that you know that these could be as elements. And so let me know what you guys think, and comment if you want. That's what I think as far as it goes.